Good morning. This is Fellowship of Spirit coming to you from San Juan County. This is the 24th of March 2024. And this is Fellowship of Spirit. I'm Ron Holloway and I'll be your moderator. We're really glad that you're here. We have several people here on Zoom, more people than I can show on the screen. There's another one, there's Carol and everybody, Jenny and Dorothy Bush is here. Gaia, we're welcome. So today we are gonna open with a prayer, and then we're gonna, Carol Littletree is going to do our spiritual reading, and Margaret Cheesebro is going to play the piano, and Shay Johnson is going to sing, and George Harris, the Reverend Dr. George Harris, is going to give us our message today. So we hope that you will have a good time, enjoy yourself, and just the spirit of if you've not been to a Fellowship of Spirit meeting before, we are a love-centered fellowship. That's what we do. We are a God as you understand Him organization. That we welcome all peoples of all stripes and beliefs, and we just try to encompass everyone. We don't want to exclude anyone in our deliberations of our search for a more spiritual awareness. So we thank you very much, and so we're going to start with our prelude, which is "Great is the Lord." Is that right, Margaret?
You're correct.
Okay, so let us begin with no further hesitation. Thank you, Margaret.
Oh, you're welcome.
And I think that new piano you have is paying off. I think that you are really improving and really sounding good.
Thank you.
And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Okay. Let us bow our heads. Father, Mother God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for all of the blessings of the moisture that we're having. And we thank you because we know that it will bring life and joy, and we will have spring shortly. We thank you for this fellowship and for this building that we have together. We thank you for all the workers who work to make these meetings possible. And these meetings, as we come together, help us and guide us in the best ways to cooperate with one another so that we may promote the love of God in each of us and help us to support each other in those endeavors. Amen. All right. Hosanna, loud Hosanna.
Trying to find today.
Sounds really good. Yeah. We also have new microphones, which you probably saw on Shay's beautiful face. And so it's going to make magnify our singing voices. So thank you, Shay. That was beautiful. All right. So let us say our reflective moment. It's in the bulletin. I know that you people on Zoom do not have a bulletin, but if you'll listen next time, you'll know it better. So here we go. Love produces a flow of energy that I now feel. I love others more than ever, and I feel privileged to be here. Love flows from one person to another as we create an atmosphere of holiness, and so it is. That was written by a person that was very dear to this fellowship, who's already completed her journey here and has passed on, and her name was Midge Jones, and we love her and miss her every day. So anyway, she left us that legacy. So thank you very much, Midge. Okay, Carol Littletree has got our spiritual reading. If I can find her. Where did you go? There you are.
I'm here.
I knew you were there. I just had to find you.
Okay. Yeah, this is a short short talk, and it's from Helen Steiner Rice. And I thought this was so appropriate for this time of year. Okay, he was one of us. He was born as little children are and lived as children do. So remember that the Savior was once a child like you. And remember that he lived on earth in the midst of sinful men, and the problems of the present existed even then. He was ridiculed and laughed at in the same heartbreaking way that we who fight for justice are ridiculed today. He was tempted, he was hungry, he was lonely, he was sad. There's no sorrowful experience that the Savior has not had. And in the end, he was betrayed and even crucified. For he was once one of us. He lived on earth and died. So do not heed the skeptics who are often heard to say, "What does God up in heaven know of things we face today?" For our Father up in heaven is very much aware of our failures and shortcomings and the burdens that we bear. So whenever we are troubled, put your problems in God's hands, for he has faced all problems and he surely understands. That's my reading.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Okay, so now we're going to have another song. And the title is Come Thou Almighty King. Wow, thank you. All right. Well, one thing I wanted to say it, I wanted to announce it twice. If I don't do it first, you can't do it twice. So, but wanted to let you know that next Sunday we are having, it's Easter, and we're going to have an Easter egg hunt after church. And they're going to be one for adults and one for children. And Easter egg hunt at the church will be cinnamon rolls, cupcakes will be served, and organizers are asking that you RSVP if you plan to attend so they can buy enough supplies for everyone. So if you haven't been coming for any reason, we hope that the weather is much better next time, although it doesn't seem to, hadn't deterred our stalwart pillars of our fellowship, because it's the ones that are here every time. Rain, snow, sleet, doesn't matter. They're always here, and we're grateful for you. Fellowship would not be here still if it were not for you. And we love all you people on Zoom, that you're a big part of our congregation also. We couldn't do it without you. And we just, so we are growing. It's hard for us to see the growth. And we don't really worry about the quantity of people. We just try to make sure that the quality of our message and our interactions with each other are in good order, and that the numbers will take care of themselves. We have about 7 or 8 people here. We have about, what, 4 or 5 kids? About 4 or 5 kids in our youth group today, and they'll be in later to report on what they are doing.
They're
So
filling eggs.
they're doing eggs. I'll bet you it has something to do with eggs. Okay, so Reverend Dr. George Harris is a long-time fellow that he used to be minister of this church for 7 or 8 years, was it, or more? How many years? 12 years, 12 years. He and I came to the church about the same time. I don't keep track of time that much, but about 12 years. And COVID kind of got it, and he went down. But as it happened, George he had some health challenges that he needed to overcome, and it took almost all of his energy to be able to overcome those and to be able to rehab to where he could talk and function again, and he has. He is back with us, and he seems to me to be in good health, and his energy and his mind is just as sharp and clear as it ever was. And we are very pleased to have him. He came in last night, which was a good plan because yesterday was not a bad weather day, but today is not so great. So we're glad that you came on in and that you're with us. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. George now. So let's get this on.
So which way?
All right. Oop.
Am I speaking to this?
You just, well, this takes, I'll hold this and
Okay.
it'll take care of the Zoom people. This takes care of the people here in the church. And everyone will be able
Well, good morning, beloved beings.
to see you.
Welcome to this day, to this moment, which is all that matters. And knowing that we're all here by divine order. Where you're at right now is a divine spot. When you walk, wherever you're at is divine spot. We need to know that and recognize who we are. We are beings of love. And we're working on how to become, as the title of the talk, because we're on a special journey, actually. And it's called The Journey of Being a Master, integrated master in your life. Wouldn't that be great to know how to master your life, every aspect of your life? And also a journey of self-love. And that's where how to become a master of your life comes from, loving yourself and treating yourself well. And so we need to know what self-love is, because we tend to give our love away. And human love says, oh, I love you, I love you, I love this, I love this. And other times it's, I don't love you, I don't love this. But God's love is everlasting. God's love is forever. God's love is unconditional. And if we could experience those in our relationships, we'd have a heck of a lot more better life going on. And so that's what the goal is, why I'm here, is to help us all with this journey of self-love and connection with God. So the first 2 Sundays that I came here, which I come here the 4th Sunday of the month, and the first 2 Sundays, I kind of laid out a foundation of why I'm here, why God has put me in this place at this particular time with the messages that I have to give you. And so it was all about what God has led me through from childhood all the way through here, through now, in the lessons, the courses I've taken, the programs I've taken, the things I've gone through. All because God led me to say, come here, and all I learned how to do was just say yes. Yes, God, I'll do this, yes. Because it was a yes from a really strange place that got me here in the first place 12 years ago. And so now that I've done that and laid the foundation, we need to continue on the goal of self-love, the journey of self-love. But I do want to refer to something that I talked about last time in part of the foundation work, and that is that we need to clear up a lot of things in our own life to be able to get to the point of self-love. And one of them is issues that we still have with our parents and our inner child. We all have this inner child that's may still be in a lot of pain from things that have happened in childhood and not cleared out yet, which we need to get it cleared out. And that's something that I've done on myself, and I've done that on other people, programs to help people connect to their childhood and clear it out. And so I showed or talked about how back in 2001, I received an angel card reading from a friend at that time, and I found it recently, and I looked at it as, God, everything that's on here is what I'm going through in my life now, which is not surprising because it's all in one moment anyway. So there was a lot of things that were said, and one of them was that my inner child still had some pain going on around childhood. So I talked about that, and then I went home that following week and just got in touch with myself and my child, and talk. And I do this as exercises I do with people if people want to know how or want to have sessions with me to help you out. But to really do inner child work and to get in touch with the child inside and love her or him and support him or her and help them grow up more and get past the pain that's been there before. And so I still had been carrying around pain from my childhood. But after I did that talk with you guys, I went home and I thought, maybe it's time to change. I've been doing some work on my inner child, but I really need to get it cleared out more. And so I did, and I did some more work on it. And I went to a workshop, which interestingly enough was feeding that same information, helping me out with my inner child, to the point where it brought up a lot of stuff. I went home and I ended up crying for a while. And I had written, one of the things they said was to write a letter to your parents. So I sat down and I did that and talked to them about how I felt about things and so forth. And so after this situation where I ended up coming home and crying and letting some emotion out, I realized it was time to really let go of it, that I've carried this, I would lived in an abusive childhood and et cetera, et cetera. Now I want to use it just as a training, which I thought I was doing before, but no, there were times that it came out as a personal issue that I still was dealing with. So I sat down and wrote some more to the letter, and this time I really looked at my mother, who was the abusive one, and just looked at her and tried and visualized her and some of the things that she did that were really good for us children. First, she took care of her kids, my two sisters and myself, at the house. Various other things, and I saw her as this woman that did have some nurturing things, which I'd never believed before. And it was quite a shock for me to feel that oh God, that did happen, and I didn't even notice it. And I started feeling more, which is another aspect I'm working on now, and that is our feminine energy. So I could see stronger feminine energy in her that was overclouded by her anger and her upset. And so that was really good to experience. And I feel like I released a lot more of what I'd been holding on to. There's more love that's come up with her. And so that's what's necessary, is to get in touch with, that's part of self-love. I love myself, even though I've gone through this, even though this is happening. What I said last time was you want to be able to love yourself 100%, which means every moment of the day. Now, for instance, we in New Thought teach that God is everywhere. There is no place where God is not, right? So God is here in my arm. God is here in this arm. God is in the chest, in my heart, in my legs, in the cells of my body, in the muscles. Every organ, everything that's in my body, God is there. Now, the issue to look at is that we don't connect to that as long or stronger as we should. We should be doing that every day, as much as we can. And I've been doing that ever since I wrote the letter, and doing this clearing out is to just say, I love you, George, 100%. I love you 100%. And keep saying it, because what good is it if we're saying that we love somebody, but over here I'm carrying some pain in my body? Am I loving myself and connecting with God? No, because I have a block there. If a muscle is shut down and not feeling well, when we get sick and we're not feeling and experiencing love, We need to get to that place like I had to when I was going through this health issues, to surrender to God, to trust, and to know that things are okay. If I've got any spot in my body, in my heart, my brain, my any part of all, God is there, but we're not experiencing it. And so we need to love every part of our body. Every situation that we do is us expressing ourselves the best that we can. It's us trying to express God's love. So that's going to be a big part of the journey that we're on, is that you're going to learn how, if you decide, it's always a decision you got to make. If you're going to decide to join the journey of self-love and open yourself up in all the ways that you can do that, and all the ways that I'm going to bring to you to experience self-love. And I want to share something with you to go along with that. There was a survey done recently, and I can't remember the person's name, but he brought up that we all have a deep-rooted desire to feel loved, accepted, and connected to others. These needs play a critical role in our overall well-being and happiness. So right there it says our love, wanting to be loved and feel loved and to give love. So I have when I go out into the world every day for things, or days that I do, I just inherently pick up sometimes the energy of people that I'll walk by and I'll say, I have a blessing for you. You are loved, you are lovable, and I love you. And it feels so good for me to say that, because I know I'm loving myself at the same time, and I love the reaction that I get from people. Only one looked at me really weird, but other than that, people are, oh my God, I needed to hear that, and oh, thank you so much. And so people are looking for it out in the world. People have got pain going on, and we look at this world right now and think that, oh God, it's darkness and it's hell and it's this and it's that. But it's not. That's just our interpretation of it. Right now, there is love underneath. There's God's love that's underneath, pushing all the darkness to the surface so that we can get into one with God's kingdom. And we're working on that right now. So we want to be able, and what is it, how do you start feeling loved? Well, first of all, to start feeling loved, it's important to nurture and maintain strong connections with those around us. No man is an island. We're not here by ourselves. We're here to connect with one another and get past our judgments we may have of people, because we have them. You might as well admit them. My teacher told me when I first started learning about that yes, I have judgments, but they don't mean anything. I don't want to put any attachment to it. Just, oh, there's a judgment. Let me let that go and get back to loving this whole person that's right here. All the cells of the body, all the dreams, all the desires, all the wants, all the fears, all the aspects. Each person has it, and then we get to love them anyway because we're loving ourselves. So embracing love in all forms can lead to a cycle where the more love we experience, the more love we tend to attract, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay, you got that? The more love you give out to others, the more that we attract, because it's the law of attraction. How nature is attracted to us based upon how we feel, what we think, situations that we have. When we experiencing love, we bring that love back to us. And so that's why I do what I do, and I want everybody to try to look at that. When you're with people that you know, and then try it with people that you don't know, and just sharing the love and feeling it in your body as you give it to other people, how important that love is. So, the more love we tend to attract, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. So again, that means we got to look at our health. If we've got something going on in our body that's not feeling well, first thing we want to ask is, how am I feeling? Am I feeling in my body anger, sadness? What am I actually feeling in it? If I'm not attached to it or can't understand it or feel it or experience it, I just know something's going on. It's time to start looking at my health. It's affecting my health. It's affecting my love for myself. It's affecting my love for others. And so it's always a question of, how do I feel, and what's going on, and how can I, well, not before I change it, but how can I get in touch with what's really going on? Is it something I'm feeling from the past, some old emotion, some old thought, Those are the two things that really get in our way. And how can we get to love? The first, as I just mentioned a bit ago, when the first medical thing that I went through with my throat surgery was surrender, trust, and gratitude. To surrender to the hospital, to the doctors, to the nurses, trust that everything's going to be going okay, and be in great gratitude to God for the fact that I'm alive and things are being taken care of. Then after I went through that, and the second one was brain surgery, and God said to me one day when I was saying this, he said, change it around. And I went, what do you mean? And he said, put gratitude first, always gratitude first. So I changed it, I said gratitude. And instead of trust, I changed it to knowing. Because we can trust, we can have faith, but we lose those sometimes. But when we know the truth about who we are, then we're in a whole different state of being. So gratitude, knowing, surrender. It's another way of helping us surrender, because surrender could be a hard term for a lot of people. God, am I giving myself away to something? You know, we've heard that we've got to give our will to God's will. And people think, and we probably have a negative thought about that, like, God, I don't want to give myself away. I don't trust that God can take care of me. This is what started the fall from man in the first place, was because we thought we were better than God. So this is just some of the aspects that I'm bringing to you, and there'll be a lot more about how to love ourselves. I'm doing it a lot more. I'm feeling so much more gratitude and health-wise. And in fact, I love telling little stories. So just Bill is here, and Sue, when I was going through my second part, I stayed at their house, and I was doing a lot of healing work, and I was a lot of stumbling over things because my body was not in balance. And I fell out a lot. And so now back in Albuquerque, even when I wake up in the morning, I have to get my legs, do some exercises with them so I can get out of bed and do the walking I need to do. Well, this morning I woke up at Bill's house and I didn't have to do that. I woke up and I was like, I'm awake, and I got out of bed and I was able to walk straight without falling over or tripping or anything. And I was like, oh my God, this is great. I'm at the house of healing. And so that's great. I feel that even being here with all of you, you know, that my health has gotten so much better. My awareness is so much better. My worry about what other people thought about me is changing so much. That's another big thing that we all have to get rid of, is worrying about other people's opinions. Because what we want is, it doesn't matter what they think. What we want is to love ourselves the best that we can and go from there. I'll share something else with you, because Easter's coming up this weekend, and there's two things that go with that. One is crucifixion. So metaphysically, what does crucifixion mean? The first part that I've understood it to be is that we're crucifying ourselves Jesus did that to let us know that we were not our body. We're not our personality. It's how we sometimes feel when crystallization occurs. And crystallization is when we're in the area of one thought and a different thought comes there. We cannot hold two thoughts of contrary belief in our mind at the same time. It's either one thought of fear or it's one thought of love. And when we're battling back and forth, like, oh my God, I'm feeling angry and I really want to feel love and I don't know how to do that right now, or I'm feeling love and I'm feeling okay. Then we experience this crystallization. And we have to start letting go of either our error thinking or some cherished aspect of our personality in our personal life. We got to let go of something. But when we do that, it heightens more awareness of the oneness that we are with God. So it's difficult to hold that position, but once we start moving through it, then we feel the oneness with God, because we feel all the love within our body, within the cells of our body. Then what comes up is resurrection. It's the experience of having overcome our error thinking or attachment to some cherished aspect of our personality or personal life. So resurrection, when Jesus did that, he showed us that we were letting go of our error thinking, that we were opening up to the truth of what Jesus was trying to teach us at that time. Excuse me. Anyway, so a more metaphysical aspect of Easter is this weekend is that we get to change our thoughts. Hallelujah. Make that as the primary thing this weekend is I'm going to learn the lesson of Jesus and let go of error thinking. I've got both thoughts coming in. I'm going to let go of one and accept the other one. Or let go of this one if it's not quite there, but accept this one. Whatever they are, whatever we could feel, whatever truth we can get to. So, right now I'm writing a book, my second book, which is Channeled Information from God. And it's so interesting to talk with him and let him speak to me about what we need to do with the chapters in the book, but also he talks to me about other things when I'm out in life and work. And so coming here yesterday, one message that he gave to me was that when I said that we need to really learn how to love the feminine, it is time. Okay. It is time, beloveds, to start paying attention to the feminine energy. Too long have we let the masculine energy be in control and the feminine energy be the victims. It's time to change that. God's even saying, wake up, people. We need the feminine energy. Mother God wants to speak to everybody and say, we need the feminine energy. The feminine energy is the beginning of love and ecstasy and joy, but mostly love and intuition and feeling and support and caring and all of those. And men have the masculine energy, but it's kind of gone negative in a lot of ways. And we want the feminine energy to come up stronger so it can bring up the divine masculine in men. And then we've got the feminine and the masculine, we've got the oneness that we need. So start looking at what you ladies that in the congregation here, and all week long I kept thinking here that we were having that I was up there somewhere, like what do you call that when you're up in the balcony? I was visioning. I was in the balcony of this church for some reason. Maybe we're uplifting into the. There we go. So I would like all you women to start working on your feminine energy. Start trusting. Start going inside and saying, what is my feminine energy like? How does it express? And where am I lacking in expressing it? And the men need to support the women in doing that so that they can get in touch with the masculine energy so that we're not blocking. Everybody needs to connect to it. And God is saying, wake up, people. It's time to get self-love for the feminine energy, self-love for the masculine energy. So I guess that's all I wanted to say for today. I wanted to get that stuff out. Next month, we'll start working on integrated master of your life and what that means and how we can more connect to our higher self and love ourselves and love one another. And just think if we had a world where we went around and we had no more judgments of people. We accepted people for who they were because we accepted people for who we are. And that's something that can be started building up here. If I spoke about the first Sunday that I was here. If all of you people would start finding ways to get the word out to other people. Jerry and I talked about constant contact, getting people out that way. If there's other ways that you can, and I'm doing the same thing in New Mexico and Albuquerque, so that we got Albuquerque and here connected together. People are coming to hear the message that I have every fourth Sunday of the month. They're coming here to experience the service that you have here at Elf Fellowship. So I also have a process, not a process. A year and a half ago, while I was recovering, I ended up typing up a whole lot of metaphysical meditations, which come from New Thought. And so what I've got set up, the program is that 20 minutes of, we state 20 minutes of metaphysical meditation, 20 minutes of meditation, private meditation, and 20 minutes of metaphysical meditation. I would like people to join me in that. We can do it on the phone. We can do it, what I would like to do is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and those that are interested in doing it, let me know. We'll pick a time that works for all of us. But it's going to be, I've done this with other people, and it's a great process of connecting with deeper understandings of God, of source, of life, the meditation. So we'll speak them out loud for 20 minutes, meditate for 20 minutes, and then speak the rest, second part, for 20 minutes. So if you're interested in doing that, let me know, and we'll find some time. And we got to start building this up. And God's saying, yes, this corner, the corner where I live in Albuquerque, the energy of that can come up and blend together as long as we keep working on loving ourselves, paying attention to the message that comes to us around us, pay attention to our own life, our own desire, our own feelings, paying attention to love, to being loved and feeling loved and giving love to people. That's my mission, to help you out. And I'm here to help you do that, to help us all. Namaste.
Thank you, George. Does anyone have anything they'd like to ask George or share with him? Here comes Bill's coming forward.
I love the letter to your parents.
Thank you for your talk, George. I remember approximately about a dozen years ago when you came and you gave a talk here about forgiveness.
Oh, yeah.
It was one of your very first talks. You were not a minister here. Randy and Susan were here at that time. And what I hear you to be saying in this second letter or the modified letter that you did to your mother is that you accepted or did some forgiveness.
Right.
For the way that she raised you. You said you had only really focused in on the negative, and then when you started to think about it and change the perspective, change the lenses in your eyes, that you could see that she did nurture and she did hopefully do the best she could where she was at. But that's what your talk brought up in me, was that you were able to do some forgiveness there. And that's probably true for all of us, to try to get rid of those attack thoughts, those judgments. Is that if you get down into it, is there's probably is something there that you need to forgive. So God bless. Have a good day.
Thank you,
For
Bill.
those words that you added to it, it was a sense of direction.
Coming up.
George, I too really liked that concept of the letter to your parents, but also it reminded me of something that I had to remind my son of, is that you may not feel like I did the best that you might have done as a parent, but I did the best I could with what I had at the time. And he understood that, he actually could relate to that. And so he forgave me for some of the shortcomings he felt like I had given him. Not abuse or anything like that, though I would love to have abused him, but he was too big by the time he was a teenager and needed it. But it was really, reminded me of that conversation that I had with him. And that, I've always had that concept with my parents. They were young adults during the war, and that affected everything they did a lot. They were, they did not make it through the war unharmed. And because of that, I could understand their limitations and their health issues and things. And so just, what you said helped me remember both of these episodes in my past. And because you have suggested it before about writing a letter to your parents, I've done that. And it really is uplifting to do that and go back and read it later. I saved it. I still have it.
Oh, good.
So, but it does make it, and, not being committed to your judgments, there's a judgment, just let it go and go on by. And don't give power to it. Don't let it overcome you. And
Love is all that matters.
that's something I've learned from you and Course in Miracles and fellowship. I mean,
I was in a class yesterday and we were talking about this, and somebody brought up and said, the last time my son got angry, he yelled at me and all this, and I said, well, wait a minute, you chose me. And he shut up.
that's very good, yes. But thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone on Zoom?
Yes, I'd like to say something.
Sure.
Cynthia here. I wasn't able to make it live to church today, but I can't say how much I enjoy. It's just beyond words. I enjoy your talk so much, George, and it always hits home, and it reminds us of what we need to be doing, to be working on ourselves. It's all wonderful. Thank you very much. Glad you're here.
Thank you, dear.
George, I need my clip back.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, it took me back today I began my spiritual journey, and I had so many blocks to the realization of love or health or anything else. And one of my big blocks was that I had lots of resentments against my parents. And so I, you know, when I went to an organization, that was their main purpose. But after a while, I came to an understanding that the purpose of that was to help me to understand that my parents did the best that they could with what they had, as all parents have throughout generations, that I could do no better than I could do. My block was that judgment of them. And the answer is always forgiveness. It always is. When I was able to forgive them, then I was able to forgive myself. And then information and understanding and awareness grew in me. And it still does today. If I ever start, and I was able to become more responsible for my own actions rather than always blaming my parents. It really was really good. And I thank you, George, for bringing that message to us, because we all need, and we need to be reminded, I need to be reminded, you know, constantly of even things that I realized a long time ago. I might, you know, need a refresher all the time. I was just telling him this morning that I have a really good memory. It's just real short, you know. Anyway, okay. So now we're going to have another song by our two wonderful ladies, and it is Wonderful Words of Life. Thank you, Shay. Thank you, Margaret. We appreciate your music, your contribution to our fellowship every week. Okay, we're going to do our celebration of abundance now. So place over your heart that which you intend to contribute, and repeat after me. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive through infinity. I am prosperous. Well, thank you, George, for making the trip up here from Albuquerque. He lives 200 miles away now, and so it's not so easy for him to get here. He started out early this time, so it was really good. And our children are coming in. Hi, guys. How are you today? Y'all stand over there. And here, who's gonna be the main speaker? You are? Okay, here you go. Hold that and hold that. And then we'll be able to hear you here. There we go. Here's our children.
We painted our Easter eggs and until they dry, we're gonna add colors. And today we're doing a reading out of the children's material, Course of Miracles.
Course Miracles, right, okay.
The miracle. Little lamb called God. Yes, Father, answered the lamb. One of your brothers is dreaming and needs your help. In the dream he has forgotten his perfection which I gave him. Sleep, little lamb, and dream. Go into the dream and help your brother. And in the dream, little lamb opened his eyes. Long shadows covered the water floor. Little lamb could hear someone crying. Oh, oh, my leg is broken. It hurts so much. Lying on the mossy ground was a spotted deer. Her eyes were closed in pain, and her back leg was bent oddly. Little lamb walked over to the deer quickly. Scurrying around her was a little mouse. Oh my, mouse kept saying. Miss Deer was a little mouse. Oh my, much too big for a little mouse like me to move. Oh my, how can I help her? Owl sat on a branch overhead, moaning. No one can help her now. It's the end for her. If she can't run, she will never be able to protect herself or find food to eat. No one can help her now. And with that, the deer cried more loudly, for she was frightened and in pain. Little lamb looked down at the deer and smiled gently. I know who can help you, Miss Deer. If you will but listen and believe, your leg will be healed. The deer looked up with hope in her eyes. I will listen, little lamb, I want to believe. Gather round, mouse and owl, called little lamb. Your sister needs all of our help. Together with our father, we will heal her leg. Mouse and owl slowly came forward and sat next to Miss Deer. They all sat very quietly as little lamb spoke. God, our Father is love. He can only create loving things, and He created you. God, our Father is perfect. He can create only perfect things, and He created you. Do you believe that our Father is perfect and loving, and creates only perfect and loving things? Asked little lamb. Mouse felt God's kiss in the warmth of the sun and said, yes, I believe. Owl listened to God song in the sound of buzzing insects and said, yes, I believe. Miss Deer, I looked at the other animals and saw them each glowing with God's love and said, yes, I do believe. As they all sat feeling each other's love and perfection, the mist of the dream became clear and they could see where they really were. Here was God's perfect world. They had never left it, and for a holy instant little. Lamb, Miss Deer, Mouse, and Owl were awake again, in the peace and perfection of their father's world. But an instant doesn't last, and when they looked again, they were back in the dream. But something wonderful happened. Look, look, exclaimed Miss Deer. My leg is healed. It doesn't hurt anymore. I can even walk on it. And as the other animals watched, Miss Deer rose up on her legs and began to dance about merrily. It's a miracle, said Mouse. How is this possible? Asked Owl. Little Lamb smiled. Truly, through God's love, anything is possible. We saw ourselves loving and perfect as our Father made us, and so God gave us the gift of a miracle so we may remember His love and our perfection. The breeze gently ruffled little lamb's wool. As little lamb opened his eyes, he saw that he was awake and in his Father's world. Once more, you have done it well today, my son, said his father. Voice within his heart, today for a holy instant your brother awoke from their dream and felt the love which I always have for them. And through that love was the gift of a miracle given.
Well, thank you, kids.
You're welcome.
Hold on, I have a question for you. What do y'all have planned for us next week?
Easter hunt. Yeah, the Easter hunt.
The Easter hunt. Yeah, all right. Well, we're looking forward to it. Are you getting excited about that?
Yes.
All right, very
I'm so
excited.
waiting.
All right.
Talk to you about it.
That's great. Thank you, kids. Okay. Before we close, I want to say again that next week is going to be an adult and a kid's Easter egg hunt. I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to work out, but I'm sure that I know the people who've organized it and are going to execute it, and I know it's going to be fun, and it's going to be enlightening and full of love and adventure. So.
We would kind of like to know if people are planning on attending, so we have enough stuff, or that we don't have too much stuff.
Okay. I don't know if you could hear us, but the only ones still online are Carol and Don and Neva. But if you should RSVP to the church here, to Jerry, and let her know if you're going to come or not, so that we can make sure that we have enough stuff to go around. Okay? So thanks a lot. Are there any other announcements?
No, that's it.
That's it, okay. All right, then in that case, we're going to have Brother Bill to give us our closing
Reading.
words.
The most precious gift. If a person gives you his time, he gives you no more precious gift. Frank Tigger. Of all our resources, time is the most valuable. Unlike many material resources, once spent, time can never be recovered. When other people give us their time, we need to regard it as a precious gift. They are giving of themselves, spending a part of their lives with us. We must not take it for granted. We can honor this gift by paying close attention to our own friends while we are with them and by showing our gratitude. When people give their time to me, I'll take it seriously. I will remember to thank them and offer to return the favor. God bless and have a great week.
Thank you, Bill. All right, so we're gonna gather up, make a circle, sing some songs.
Sorry. I think he likes being next to you.
I think he
I
does
think
too.
so too, just as long as it's not so jumpy. Careful, careful with Ron's hand.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, wide with foam. God
this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
I want to remind everybody that we can do together that which we cannot do for by ourselves. And God bless you and keep you
Amen.
until we meet again.
Amen.
Hi.
Susan signed off.
Really good.
Most of them all did before the end of it, but it all worked out.
Batteries are really good.
Why not?
Oh, sometimes we do brunch with Bupa and Grandma Sue. I don't know
I
if
would
we
probably
will
turn
today.
it off and
Sometimes we do brunch with Bupa and Grandma Sue.
Oh, yeah,
He's
yeah.
asking if we're gonna do brunch.
Oh, I don't know, probably, yeah, do you like to eat at grandma's?
We usually go to Tequila's.
At their restaurant, you like it? They have good food over there, don't they?
Tomorrow, Sunday, or ours.
Anyway, okay,
Maybe later on.
thank you for joining us today, and I hope that you will come back next week and meet us at the same time, same place, same connection, and we'll wait to see you
So I
then.
think the boys want.
Have a great week, bye-bye.
If you want a chocolate